represent like 1% of the worldwide production. So people don't really know about Tahitian pearl.
A lot of people can compete, but they cannot put out such a quantity of bigger size of pearl.
I think for the economy of French Polynesian, but also for the world economy, that's good for anybody, really anybody.
What you see going on right here is the most precise, painstaking part of the whole pearl culturing process.
And our pearl, for me, is magic because when you see all the different colors and
the colors, all the colors. She produced the pink, the black, the green, the silver, all the colors.
In 1961, Jean-Marie Domard cultured Tahiti's very first pearls. 2 years later, Tahiti saw its first pearl harvest. So we're here in Takaroa. Now let's get our hands dirty and see what it takes to culture a Tahitian pearl. The Tahitian pearl farms are like nothing else in the world. The farms reside inside the caldera of a sunken underwater volcano known as an atoll. Over millions of years, volcanoes deteriorate and sink into the depths of the ocean, which form pristine and ideal farming conditions. Atolls provide extreme isolated environments that guarantee unparalleled biodiversity and protect from varying outside contaminants and threats. Due to the inherent dangers of the atoll's isolation, self-sufficiency and preservation are key elements to the survival of pearl farmers like Mr. Yu. Life on the atoll is centered around what can be provided from nature and what can be reused. All the water that is used, from cooking to bathing, is recycled rainwater. This rainwater is caught and then pumped from huge containers to Mr. Yu's garden and bungalow. All of their sources of food come from the land and sea. Eric told me that if I wanted dinner that night, I had to go catch it myself. Eric is Mr. Yu's right-hand man. He's a shell grafter, a fisherman, and a trapper. Eric came along to ensure that we can get some dinner. At Mr. Yu's pearl farm, no part of the oyster is wasted. The gonad and the byssus part of the oyster are used as fish bait and fertilizer, while the adductor muscle is exported as a delicacy. After dinner, Eric said that if I wanted to catch a real treat, I had to go with him into the forest and find a special type of crab that roams here in Takaroa. So the next day, Eric and I set traps to catch one of these special types of crabs. Coconut crabs look like giant spiders in clown skin. When I saw one, I didn't know whether to laugh or run away. Unlucky for the coconut crab, he was caught, cooked, and soon to be our meal. What separates the Polynesian islands from the rest of the world is the tropical climate, which brings the minerals to the surface of the ocean where the water is warm, offering the best possible farming conditions. French Polynesia is capable of producing quality and large pearls because of this ideal climate. After 3 years, the oysters are gathered and brought to shore, where they are sent through a machine with high water pressure to remove the parasites and predators living on the shell. They are then brought to a technician who performs the first procedure on the oyster. What you see going on right here is the most precise, painstaking part of the whole pearl culturing process. It's known as the first graft, the first operation ever done on the mollusk. So what she's going to be doing is opening up the mollusk slightly, peering inside to examine the health and size of the gonad of the mollusk, inserting first the nucleus into that mollusk, followed by a piece of mantle tissue so that the pearl is now ready to grow. The mantle tissue selection is an extremely important part of the pearl culturing process. The mantle tissue is actually selected from up around the lip of a donor shell. These donor shells are selected from all the other shells because they have the traits most desirable in whatever pearl type we're talking about. In Tahitian pearls, you're going to be looking for this deep rainbow lip right here. The mantle tissue will be just below that lip. Now, what's so important about the mantle tissue is that it is responsible for the creation of epithelial cells. Epithelial cells are the cells that are responsible for creating the nacre of the pearl. So when inserted with a bead into a host shell, the mantle tissue will actually help to grow that nacre around the nucleus. It'll be a beautiful color if selected properly from your donor mollusk. The oysters are drilled, attached to chapelet lines, and then brought back into the ocean so that a pearl can begin to grow. So we're here with Eric, and what he's doing is pretty interesting and sort of unique to saltwater pearl types. It's known as the second graft. First thing he's going to be doing is taking the first graft pearl out of the shell. Only the shells that produce a high enough quality of pearl are eligible for second graft. So those shells are going to be implanted with a nucleus that's about the same size as the first pearl that he took out of the first shell. Now, there's no need to put any more mantle tissue into the gonad of the shell because the pearl sac has already been formed. There's no need for a second. I'm sitting with the farm owner, Mr. Yu. One of his employees just came over with a whole entire cooler full of beautiful Tahitian pearls of all sizes, shapes, and colors. So how often do they bring you a cooler full of pearls?
Oui, nous récoltons tous les jours. Tous les jours, nous faisons une récolte pendant 2 à 3 mois. Et ça, c'est la première greffe.
What's the largest pearl that you got this year?
Largest pearl is 21 milli.
21. Was it round? A
Semi-round.
Wow. What we have going on right here is unbelievable. This is the harvest of the second graft pearls. We're here, Mr. Yu's actually out here doing it himself, and we're taking out the larger pearls here that have been grafted through the older mollusks, the larger mollusks. We have some amazing stuff that's been coming out. First of all, look at some of these rounds, some of these large rounds, and look at this baroque that he just pulled out. Unbelievable. Look at the size of that. That is absolutely gorgeous. So I guess I'm gonna get in here and pull out a couple myself and see if I can't come up with something beautiful. So right here, this is gonna be the gonad. You can feel the pearl right in there, right here. So I'm just gonna take it out and we'll see what we have. Look at that, oh my God. That's just an incredible round blue pearl. I guess I picked a winner. It's like scratching lottery tickets right here. You don't know what you're gonna get. All right. Where are we here, Mr. Yo? Oh, there we are. Ooh, this feels like a big one, guys. Oh my God. That's unbelievable. That looks like 14 millimeters maybe right there. High luster, that is just a gorgeous pearl. I'm getting lucky, I'm pretty good at this, huh? I don't think Mr. Yo minds as long as I keep on pulling out 14 millimeter pearls. After the second graft harvest with Mr. Yu, we had to get on a plane that comes to Takaroa only once a week. But before we left, we had to eat our friend the coconut crab, and it was delicious. Now it's time to pack up our pearls and go to Tahiti. Tahiti is the hub in which pearls are traded and exported from French Polynesia. It is the next stop for our pearls from the farms. We're here in Papeete, Tahiti, with Louis Vieira, a major exporter of Tahitian pearls here. How's it going, Louis?
Very good.
So can you tell us a little bit about what you do here?
In Tahiti, our job is to buy the pearl with the producer, so we have an agreement with them. We clean and we classify in shape, quality, size and color. Okay, here is the place where we do the...
It's pearl traders and exporters like Louis who purchase Mr. Yu's harvest.
This is one producer. He's good producer, his first harvest, and the size is quite big. This is our drilling machine. So we put the pearl here and we drill. We have here a box that is round, BC quality, blue, 11 to 14. And we have 2,500 pieces. So we have many colors. We have multicolors, blue, light blue, green, medium dark, pastel, pistachio. So we have a lot of circle. We have different size, 8 to 10 millimeter, 11 to 14 millimeter, and 15 up. So here is different necklaces. We have different shape. This one are round, gray. We have those one, for example, that are multicolor, semi-baroque. Here we have also some earrings. Here I have my baby. Yes, I have one
Wow!
21 millimeter.
21
yes,
millimeters.
Yes, yes.
What's
Baroque.
that?
And this one is funny.
Looks like a bullet.
Yeah, that's
Oh my gosh.
that's the only two pearl I keep. They are very specific.
That is on. Look at the size of that. So these are your two babies right here.
Yes, yes.
That is incredible. Here we are in Tahiti at the headquarters of Maison de la Pearl, a government organization whose responsibility it is to maintain the high quality of Tahitian cultured pearls.
So Maison de la Perle have been created in 2009. It is a part of the reform engaged by the French government of French Polynesia. Our mission is to expertise the pearls.
It's Maison de la Perle's job to classify and categorize every pearl harvest to regulate a quality standard for Tahitian pearls.
With different sizes and with different interests.
What you see right over here are boxes of high quality pearls that have met the criteria to be exported, and they're going to go to auction next week. There's two different steps to determining whether the pearls are high enough quality to be exported. First, by visual examination by a person. Second, by determining the nacre thickness through an X-ray machine. What they're doing here is grading the pearls for size, shape, luster, surface quality, and color. How that helps the Tahitian farmer is that they know the value of their harvest. It's so outsiders can't come in and put pressure on the farmers to sell for too low. Also, what it does is help to maintain a stable market price, and certain farmers aren't selling for lower than others. They can still choose how much they want to sell their harvest for, but at least they know what they're selling now. At this stage of the grading process, the pearls are ready for X-ray. So they're going to be separated out onto trays like this, one pearl to a circle. The trays are going to be placed in the X-ray machine, and then the X-ray technician is going to measure through the screen the distance from the nuclei to the edge of the pearl, and that is your nacre thickness. What you guys see behind me right now are thousands, tens of thousands of pearls that didn't make the minimum quality standard to be exported by the Tahitian government. Without a nacre thickness of 0.8, they don't make the minimum requirement to be exported by the Tahitian government, and they're done. They're going to be crushed. The mid-1970s marked a pivotal turning point in the Tahitian pearl industry.
Hello, I'm Laurent Rebstock, and I opened my store 3 years ago.
My name is Dominique Petras. I was born in Tahiti. The Four Seasons asked me to take care of the shops here, and I first started by just the hotel shop, and then they asked me what I thought about the Tahitian pearl, and right away I said yes.
We are producer of pearls here, so everybody from the world comes to buy the Tahitian pearls here.
We represent like 1% of the worldwide production. So people don't really know about Tahitian pearl.
Today we have 4 jewelry stores.
I think that you cannot work in the pearl business without passion. For me, it's a very feminine gem, but it's like I always say that diamond is the king and pearl is the queen. I grew up with Jean-Claude Brouillet, who sold his farm to Robert Van. Jean-Claude started, it was called South Sea Pearl, and then Robert started Tahiti Pearl. I'm impressed by Robert Van, just I'm a fan of Jean-Claude Brouillet because we owe them the fact that the pearl is becoming famous. Not famous enough, it's a lot of work because the competition is tough. But at the same time, that's what gives value to our pearl.
We're in Hong Kong at the International Jewelry Show here at Robert Wan Auction. The Robert Wan Auction is huge. This is where the most trading of Tahitian pearls goes down. I mean, millions of dollars are being traded hands here at the auction. This is the big show, guys. This is where it's at.
You know, when I started, I know nothing about the pearl business, and I learned it. It was almost 40 years ago, and we had the first harvest. I present that to the Mikimoto company, and they bought. I'm a lucky man.
Very lucky.
Nobody knows yet the pearl is a gem from a live animal. It's different than the minerals like diamonds. It's a biotic. Yeah. It's a biotic.
The balance.
Yeah, this is make a lot of difference.